Okay, so I'm just gonna quickly go over changing the props and what happened during that crash. So as you can see right here, this is the worst of the damage, is that nick on that prop right there. This one received a little bit of dinging, and these have some creases on the inside. I think that's probably from them hitting themselves. They seem to have made contact right there and have hurt themselves during their kind of like fail-safe fold over or something. So I'm going to be changing those as well, but also while I'm servicing it, I'm going to do the ones that need to be done, and then later I'm going to go through and just do all of them. I don't know what other small damages might have been done, but I was able to pick up a full set of props for like $14, and considering how much is invested in the drone and how much the props cost, and if they're unbalanced, they're gonna wobble, and that can cause issues with the motors and the bearings. So in my mind, it's so much easier to just change the props out than have to service the entire drone because of being cheap and saving on something so small. First thing I want to suggest is remove the battery. Okay, there's no need for you to have a battery in right now. Let's take that out, and I have the gimbal guard in place so that nothing happens to that. Now all we're gonna do is unscrew these and put in the new ones. Now I received this screwdriver and these props when I purchased an extra battery. As I was looking at them, something I noticed was that the screws aren't quite the same and the props aren't quite the same. But I'm sure that these would function. They seem to be a little bit lighter, but if you compare them, I feel like the OEM DJIs are just a little bit of a better quality. So when I'm purchasing them, I'm going to stick with purchasing the OEM ones, but these would do in a pinch. You know, if you're out in the field and need a quick prop change, I think they would work fine. But while I'm here in the house servicing them, I'm going to go ahead and use the OEM props and also the OEM screwdriver. It just, again, not that it's a huge difference, but it just seems to be a better metal, better material. Again, little things. This would work fine. It's a screwdriver, but I'm not gonna risk ruining something over something so simple. So we'll put these back and save them for, we'll say, a rainy day. All right. Now, as I change this out, I'm going to hold that motor still and just start to loosen them. I'm going to loosen both, and then I'm going to hold the prop and the motor housing while I unscrew. And as it frees itself, I'm going to lift the prop and the screw out together. Now, these screws, they seem to be fine. I'm sure I could reuse them. In fact, I just may, especially since these already have thread lock or Loctite, what have you, thread lock on them. Now, something you want to pay attention to when you change these props, you'll notice these have dashes. There's also a dash right here on the arm. So I want to match up the dash on the prop to the dash on the arm. you'll notice that this next set here has no dash, has no dash. So be sure that when you change them, you avoid putting something with no dash on the one with the dash. This is for here. They spin in opposing directions, so it will not work the other way around. Be sure to pay attention to this from the beginning and save yourself a lot of headaches. Now when I put it on, I'm going to have the screw in the prop already. I'm going to put it over it, find the hole, and I'm going to spin it backwards. Okay? I'm going to do that till I feel the threads drop, and there you go. And then gently thread it forward. This way, I avoid cross-threading it, retooling it, whatever you want to call it. But that's avoided by starting in the opposite direction. By starting in the opposite direction, I can find where the thread enters and start right then and there. Now again, I want to make sure that I get the prop with the dash on it. I'm going to line this up, get it right into the hole, thread it backwards, and then as soon as I feel it click into place, I go forward. Something simple to avoid a problem. All right, on to the next step. Now, quick close-up. This is that nick going through there. Nothing huge, but any weight difference in these propellers is going to cause vibration, like the balancing of a tire. These need to be as balanced as possible. So even though it's not a big problem, it can become one. So if you see damage on them, like the inside here where it's cracked, the chipping, anything like that. And now I noticed too, a lot of people kind of seem to think that this is the cutting edge. This is the back side of the blade. So you're less likely to see damage on this side than this side because of the direction of which it spins. Either way though, you want to make sure that they're clean and smooth and that you're not going to have any damage anywhere on the propellers, because you want to have them as balanced as possible to prevent further damage to the aircraft. Alright, now you see here, there's not too much damage. There's a little chipping, nothing much, but there's also here where it made contact with that screw. Okay, so again, I feel it's just better, a little safer to just change that out. And when you change props, propellers, I highly suggest you do it in pairs, not just in the totality of it with changing them, but while you take them off. Do both at the same time each time to prevent changing the same one twice or forgetting to change one. And do both because they're sold in sets for a reason. You know, you don't want to try and skimp and get 2 pairs to do all 4 sides. If you're doing them, just do them. The expense is small enough to save you money on the aircraft as a whole. Now, with that being said, I'm also going to change out these two because I might as well. Looking over them, there's no real issues that I'm seeing, just some very minor cosmetic things, but while I'm doing them, I might as well do them and be 100% certain that all of the props on the aircraft are in the best standing possible. A reminder, check for the dash, check for the dash. Make sure the ones that you're putting on are the correct ones. Dash, no dash. Find the hole, thread it backwards till you feel it, and then go forwards. And these are righty-tighty, lefty-loosey screws, or the common threads. And there you have it. Just a small amount of time to ensure that this is going to help its performance overall. You know, when you're in close to $1,000 on the aircraft and accessories and stuff like that, the $14 to optimize it and make sure that it lasts you is really nothing. On top of that, you might as well be able to schedule and document the maintenance that you perform on this. So if you do ever have a problem, you can provide proof of your maintaining of it, that it wasn't your error that created a situation. If you are flying around with props that have issues on it and you have a situation, then that's something else you're going to have to defend upon why this aircraft was misbehaving, what have you. Whereas if you are performing routine maintenance, documenting that maintenance, should something malfunction, you can show that you have been covering your bases, you have been taking care of what needs to be done, and that it is not your negligence that caused it. So I hope this helps you guys. Thank you for joining in, and happy flying.